Siri, please dial TGV.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hello, TGV. It's Hugo. Just giving you a quick call. See how you are. There are all these preposterous rumours. I must admit, I do miss seeing your common little face on the YouTubes. Anyway, I managed to evade those blasted Swedes. Turns out I had them for supper. They paired wonderfully with a lovely Cabernet. Do give me a call when you can. Let's do luncheon. Okay, toodle pip. What a strange voicemail. We are back. Yeah, where do I even begin? Well, first of all, I should apologize for my rather lengthy hiatus. Where do I even begin? Well, the best place to begin, the most gentlemanly place to begin, is to say thank you to all the concerned emails I received. Shout out to Kenneth, Bob, Richard. There's so many of you. Everybody that emailed in concerned about my health. If you've been following the channel, you know I have a serious lung condition. But this time it was in many ways worse because it wasn't me going through it. It was a loved one, and yeah, it's kind of tougher when you see loved ones being very unwell. But thankfully they've made a full recovery, and then at the same time I had issues with YouTube. As you can imagine, YouTube was the last thing on my mind, and then recently, almost like it's just all happened. In a few weeks, I'll be making a very big announcement. I don't want to jinx it, but I'll share it on the channel. There's going to be a massive, massive change. And it quite literally is, to coin the cliche, it will disrupt the industry, right? So, yeah, that's a bit of a watch and the joke there. But anyway, yeah, I've missed you guys. I have missed you guys. I can assure you, as you can see, I'm very, very much alive and well. Yeah, so without further ado, finally I've got some time I've had some time to edit the following video, something I shot back in January, just after Christmas, and then afterwards we'll just commence with you know, the reviews and all the rest of it. So let's start with that new 2019 intro. Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. You join me here in the beautiful English countryside. If you've been following the show long enough, you know that every year I spend a month or so here at our cottage in Norfolk to recharge batteries, and also just to spend time, much needed time, with family, especially in the festive season. Now I'll quickly do wristwatch check. I'm wearing the Stover. I've started actually referring to it as the Fletcher Christian in honor of my ancestor, and it's kind of 18th century inspired roots, you could say. Yeah, absolutely loving it. Just reviewed it, so check that out. Fascinating German-made watch. But also, you'll probably notice I've got a new microphone, so please do tell me how it sounds. Well, sorry, I've probably mucked it up now, but yeah, it was a gift for Christmas. And I haven't used the lavalier for years, for donkeys, not since I was working in audio on a television advert shoots all those years ago. So yeah, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with lavaliers, but fingers crossed it will be an improvement. Let me know what you think of the new sound. What else should I mention? Oh, by the way, I just realized, very fortuitous of me to set the camera up like this, because that painting there we go, which is a watercolor by my grandfather, is of Salisbury Cathedral. And I only noticed it when I was, well, obviously I know it's there, but I mean, I noticed it was in the frame when I was setting up the camera. And it's fantastic because it's deeply, deeply horology related. In fact, the oldest working mechanical clock in the world, still working to this day, is actually in Salisbury Cathedral. So yeah, it's just very fitting. But I thought, as I received this new mic, I might as well do a gift haul video for the season. Do they even still do those kind of videos? Maybe a bit passé, but anyway, I'm gonna do it. And of course, I got plenty of watches for Christmas, as you can imagine, right? So without further ado, let's crack on, shall we? Well, first of all, my wife gave me this, which a lovely bit of nostalgia, took me right back to childhood. I think it has, how many games? 20 plus games. I was battling my wife on Street Fighter 2 Turbo over Christmas. Tremendous fun. Those buttons, oh my God, it takes me right back. They always reminded me of Smarties. If you're from the UK, you'll know that reference. Yeah, Mario Kart, terrific, terrific fun. You guys know, if you've seen my videos, I'm into my retro gaming. I have a Game Boy as well, and yeah, anyway, let's move on. Okay, next I got a Pacini Box Set along with an eyewitness guide to opera. I have all the Wagners from Parsifal, Valkyries, Tristan and Isolde, of course, my namesake, all my favorites, right? But I don't have an extensive Pacini collection, so I'm really chuffed with this. Really nice recordings. And this is the DK guide. Very, very insightful. Their travel guides are excellent too, so really cool. So the first watch I got given was the Gshock Mini. Unfortunately, you can only order these from Japan, and as the name implies, they are unisex, but basically, as I'll show you now, and I will review this because I think it's definitely something we should discuss. So this is the reference GMN 5501DJR. It's an offshoot of the DW56 family, obviously in a smaller size. Now, I love the Gshock. In fact, it was one of the watches I brought with me for my little stay here in England. However, they are big, and that is one of the downsides of Gshocks. However, they've always been big. They were meant to be big, even way back in 1983. In fact, the DW5600 I have, or I did a video of, click there, that I did a video of recently, it hasn't changed in size. But this, I have to say, is, if you have the more conservatively sized wrist, shall we say, is absolutely splendid. It's a little bit different, the layout of the pushers. It's got this very glossy finish. Oh, look at that size though. Look at that size. It's absolutely perfect for me, at least. So I'll be comparing it with the DW56. It's got this very retro sci-fi look, but somehow they've managed to fit the 10 layers, if you remember from my Gshock video, into a more compact size. So it's still as robust, still as water resistant. It has all the same features. The free floating module inside, protected by all that innovative world change. I mean, this is the Gshock, as we discussed, it's a horological icon. In a strange way, it's a cleaner design. Kind of not sure about the glossy finish, although it's a little bit too flashy for me, but the size is definitely a winner, so stay tuned for that. And hopefully, if we get some awareness out there, they might release them worldwide. Again, it's a bit like the Seiko Sabs. It's a shame that the Japanese keep a lot of the really great stuff, or the greater stuff, for themselves. Boom, there we go. Another book on Churchill, Old Winnie. This time written by Andrew Roberts there. I have a lot of Martin Gilbert's work, so it'll be interesting to compare with this. This, I have to say, has got some fantastic color photography. There's old Blenheim Palace where old Winnie grew up. I can't wait to read this. Stunning, beautifully done book. So yeah, and another book I got, let's just put that down there. I've recently become obsessed with ocean liners. Yeah, rather fitting, right? So this beautiful thing, I'll be honest, I just spend most of my time staring at the pictures, especially the 1930s, you know, the Normandy and the Queen Elizabeth. There's just something very majestic, special, magical about this era of the ocean liner. The photography in this, oh God, look at that opulent interior. I love this kind of romantic age of travel where it was a little bit more sophisticated. The furniture as well, I mean, it's just stunning photography. It's just a joy to look at, really is. And I especially love the Art Deco posters, the promotional. You know, I think I might do it'll be kind of cool to go back to New York on a cruise ship. I might do that one day. Certainly a more stylish age, I mean, without a shadow of a doubt. Oh, and it's from my favorite museum, the V&A, so pretty cool. In fact, actually, I think they had an exhibition. Unfortunately, I missed it. I was in New York at the time, but oh well. Okay, next is a watch I actually won in an auction myself, and it's the Smith's Everest, named in honor of the second watch that Sir Edmund Hillary wore on Everest. Apparently, he not only took that Rolex. It's funny because I was sitting here a year ago doing that video about the history of the Explorer, and it's become my favorite watch. I still own it. I'm very proud Explorer fan, but not a lot of people know that he also took with him a Smith's watch, made in England, made in Great Britain. Nowadays they're owned by, I believe they're called Time Factors. This is a very peculiar watch because it's a homage to the Rolex 1016, one of my favorite watches. And I have to say, I am a little bit disappointed off the bat. There's a lot to discuss with this watch. There's some things I like about it, others very disappointing. It's interesting because a family member of mine saw this and they were like, oh, I remember Smiths from when they made clocks and timepieces for cars and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, it's a different company now, and believe it or not, I believe this has a Miyota in it. But anyway, I might be wrong. I will do the full review. I am a little bit disappointed, but it's, you know what, it makes a good video and it's something that should be discussed because it is an interesting brand and they're part of the legacy of one of my favorite watches. So it's nice how it all ties in. So stay tuned for that. What else? Another horological icon, the Braun alarm clock. Definitely one of the most affordable horological icons you can buy. In fact, I used to have one as a child. I don't know what happened to it. I used to have the black one, as you see there. This is a gunmetal version. So this was famously designed, I think back in the 60s by Dieter Rams, the legendary industrial designer from Germany. Braun is German. In fact, actually, I got criticized because I talked about Braun watches recently in the video. Apparently the correct way is to pronounce them is Brown, but here in England we say Braun, you know, tomatoes and all the rest of it. It was designed with the 10 good design principles in mind. It's a kind of manifesto that Dieter Rams famously based all his world-leading design on. It's called functionalism, very German, very no-nonsense, clean, classic. And yes, it's rather elementary, rather utilitarian, but it is an icon. And in fact, the watch version of this, which I did talk about recently, is in the 50 Watches That Changed the World book. So it's a bit of a forgotten icon. If you know design, if you know watches, if you know horology, it's certainly part of the story. And this has the high quality German movement inside, which means it's deadly silent, which is fantastic. You see, it's quartz. If you want to have an alarm clock that's analog by the bed, but you don't want to hear that annoying tick, this is perfect. I'll hold it to my microphone. It's deadly silent. I mean, you can't hear anything. So really chuffed with that. Okay, and the next, I had some extra work done on my SKX. If you remember the State of the Collection video I did, I think it was in October, I talked about how I wasn't completely happy with my little, the Panther Cub, the SKX013, the smaller version of the 007. So I sent it to Jeff at Watchmakers 4, and I'm currently waiting for it right now. And of course, typical British style, it got held up in customs. So it didn't make it for Christmas. It was a kind of gift to myself, really. Literally, I'm waiting for it to arrive any moment. So if I stop recording and run off to answer the door, it's because it's parcel force. But anyway, I can share some images of what I had done. I wasn't entirely happy with it. There were some little things. I didn't like the glossy bezel I had put in it, although I do love the fact that it's loomed up. I changed it to what's called the stealth bezel. I also added a signed crown, updated the movement with a brand new movement that's performing within Gshock. I had no expense was spared. It really is, it's actually the third time I've modded an SKX, and every time I'm getting closer and closer to perfection. So I even had the Hugo wave, the raised section done in a high polish. I love the bead blasted finish on the rest of it. It's just to give it a little bit more pronounced detail in the back. What else did I have? Oh, and very subtle, but I wanted to have, I went back to Mercedes hands, and initially I was gonna have the tip of the seconds hand in red, but then I thought, no, you know what? And I emailed Jeff, and he's guys, Jeff is the guy if you want to have your Seiko modded. And I said, is there any chance we can make it orange to match the script on the dial? You know where it says 200 meters, divers 200 meters or whatever it is, right? And he actually managed to match it, I think, precisely. So I'm really happy. It's funny, it's these little details, but it makes the whole experience, the whole watch, that closer to perfection. So, and I love the modding process, because you rarely make it your own, unlike anything else. As you see by the pictures, he even pressure tested it, so it is actually performing as a real diver. It's not just looks. While I do lose the luminescence on the bezel, I just think it works. I know, utterly ridiculous. What do I need the stuff? It's not like I'm going on a covert operation anytime soon, but well, you never know. But anyway, eagerly awaiting that. Thank you to Jeff again for his, well, I haven't received it yet, but I know his work is impeccable. And I will leave details to his Instagram. Check out his Instagram. He's one of the best Instagrams out there. I mean, his photography, I mean, he's not just an excellent watchmaker, but he's an extremely talented photographer as well. Shout out to my good friend Jeff out there. But yeah, what else? Okay, moving on. Okay, now you guys know, well, if you saw the review, I reviewed this bag. This has actually become my day-to-day bag. This is from Friedrich. I'm a big fan of their bags. Bit of an addiction. Based in the UK, high quality Italian leather. It's basically luxury standard, but without the gaudy designs. Very tastefully done, very classic. I love them. The quality is amazing. Have a look back at that. I think that's the C3 or the C1, I can't remember. But anyway, I have reviewed it during the summer. And I got given this. Oh, look at this. Oh, my pen has just dropped. This is the Weekender. Now, I've had my eye on this for donkeys. And I wish I had it, you know, flying from New York to here, because, oh, this is just the perfect weekend away. In fact, actually, believe it or not, I've just dropped my pen and there goes my notepad, sorry. Let me just put that down there for a moment. Believe it or not, I came all the way to England just with this, because I have a whole wardrobe of my Fraser silk shirts here as well. But yeah, this is fantastic. I am going to review this because I think it warrants its own review. It's such an interesting, I love the shape of it. It's got this slightly kind of trapezium shape. If I open it up and show you, it has the shoulder strap, the orange interior. I have a few of their bags in cognac, the laptop sleeve, but when I travel, for some reason, I tend to wear a lot of black. I think it's because it's just my outerwear gear is black, so I wanted something a little less conspicuous, and also black tends to, I mean, this is going to age wonderfully. It's extremely well made, like all Friedrich stuff. So I'm definitely going to review that. Probably the best gift. Well, that's I shouldn't say that. I'll probably offend my family members. Oh, and by the way, it's also got the little studs, so just fantastic. So going back to New York, I've got something to put all these books and gifts in, right? Okay, next is a little stocking stuffer from my wife, little remote control Panzer. Actually, it's the Tiger. Yeah, a bit of silliness, but fun all the same. Last, but by no means least, the ultimate watch case. Have a butcher's at that. Sorry, forgive me, I've been watching EastEnders. Yeah, this is a serious bit of kit. And this has been given to me very kindly by the Case Farm. In fact, it's a British company. What they do, they customize the Pelly case. So this is the Pelly case 1200 in a lovely kind of military-esque olive color. You can get them in a whole variety of colors. Now, I only agreed to mention this if they give me a few free ones to give to you guys, right? I think that's fair, right? So there will be a competition. Stay tuned. In the UGWC, there will be a giveaway of a couple of these very soon. So what the Case Farm does is they cut out to your specifications. So for example, on mine, if I remove my NATO straps, of course, you'll see, if I just, actually if I hold the watches in, there's a little space underneath for my Bourgeon spring bar tool. So for my trip, I came here with my two Audemars Piguets. There they are, the Royal Oak, which I wore for Christmas, the Mooney there, my Rolex GMT, and of course, old Flighty. And there's a very special reason why I brought Flighty with me. Well, first of all, I love it, but it's the 5th year anniversary, or it's just gone, that of ownership of this watch. So I'm gonna do a video talking about it. I can't believe 5 years, and it's still so close to my heart. It's funny, and I've rebought it several times. It's an undying love. But anyway, we'll save that for another video. Pelly cases are remarkably robust, dust-proof, waterproof, crush-proof. In fact, you can see the beautiful gasket that goes around, and when you close them, there's a little hole there. If you see it there, you can lock them, and there's a valve. And what this valve does is, this is perfect for traveling, when it's closed, so you don't get what's called a vacuum lock, right? And I didn't even know this was a thing, but with the changes of air pressure when you fly, it can make it tough to open. The valve will alleviate any of that vacuum lock, so it's easy to open. Hard as nails, and they're just the business. They are just the business. So you can have as many or as little watches. They also do gun cases. I think they started with making these, customizing these for, what was it? Drones, that's it, drones. So very cool indeed. Okay guys, so a bit of a self-indulgent video there. Doesn't have to be just watches, although I am very interested to hear what you're starting the new year off with on your wrist. A lot of these items definitely deserve their own review, especially I think this bad boy here. I can't wait to discuss this. And I think also this one, the perfect weekend away gentleman's bag, right? So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna finish my tea here and try and relax a bit. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and found it useful. And as always guys, I will catch you in the next one. Okay guys, ciao.
This is a public service reminder for the good Gentry. Please follow us on Instagram, join the Facebook UGWC group, and click on the bell to keep notified of new videos. Don't forget to keep it positive, keep it Gentry, onwards and upwards. Thank you.